Alright guys, I want to show you today the case that I use for my Glock 17 Gen 4. I use the Pelican 1200 case. Now the reason I use this instead of the regular factory Glock case is that I wanted a case that was a little more protective. I wanted one that was moisture, water repellent, waterproof, something that I could throw a lock around if I needed to when I was traveling, and then something that had a little more protection shock-wise. Don't get me wrong, this Glock factory case is great, depending on what you're using for, but for what my purposes are, I need a little bit more sturdier case. Now to start with, when I was doing some research about the Pelican cases, I couldn't find any comparison between the Glock case and the Pelican case. So what I brought it out to show you is that both cases are the same exact width and length. So if you're storing it somewhere, the length and width dimensions are exactly the same. Obviously, there's a height difference, but other than the height, exact same width and length. So get that out of here. Onto the case. Starting from the outside, this is super hard polymer plastic. It doesn't really bend or give at all. Start in the back, I guess. The latches, the hinges back here, they're tripled, so you have 3 points of moving, so it doesn't stress just on one point of the case. I'll show you that in a minute, but you do have an O-ring going around all the way to the inside, which helps keep water repellent. On the front, you have two holes here that if you wanted to throw like a master lock or something, I just brought this up for example, you can throw that through and lock it up if you wanted to. Also has this nice sturdy handle for transporting, and then obviously these latches. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the purge seal. If you were to take up an airplane, you know, the air pressure changes. This automatically releases the air pressure so it doesn't build up inside the case. Onto these latches. These are super tough, double lock latches. They're not going to accidentally open. You have to try to make them open. Okay, moving on the inside. Get to that in a minute. On the top here, I'm trying to show you this. You have your normal, I call it waffle type foam, but this is in the upper lid. While we're on the lid, I'll try and show you. Here is your O-ring. When I got mine from the factory, it was pretty lubed up, so it keeps the water out great for me at least. So that's in the top portion. And then obviously you get to the main part where you're going to be storing something. I'll take this out real quick. The newer Pelican cases come with what they call the pick and pluck foam. What this gives you is the opportunity to essentially customize the case the exact way you want it. Before this new stuff came out, you would have to take an old electric carving knife or just have a really sharp knife and cut out exactly what you wanted. This new stuff, take out a chunk here and show you, is made up of tiny little squares that you're able to rip and customize apart. Now, along with this top layer, there's two layers in the bottom. You have your main chunk of the pick and plug, and then there is another thinner piece at the bottom. This is the bottom of the case, same plastic. But this is the piece at the bottom. This is not pick and plug, this is just basic flat foam. And here's the part that you can customize, the pick and plug. Now, what I did is that this was a little thick for my Glock. It was about double the width. So what I did was the part that I cut out for the gun, I took that and then I cut that part in half. So it looks a little messy on the bottom, but I cut all these parts out individually. But when it's laying in here, instead of the Glock, the gun, being all the way at the bottom, me having to really dig in there, I cut the part I originally cut out, I cut it in half. So when it's in here, it lays right on top, flush with the top of this layer of foam. Alright? So I just cut those in half with a scissor just to make them all even. So that's the pick and plug foam. You can set this up any way you want. I'm right-handed, so when my gun is in the case, I wanted to go for an easy right-hand pull-out. So the gun is facing that way. Easy right-hand pull-out. As you can see, I left this part down here. I took the whole chunk of the pick and plug out because for most of the time I have one of these master lock, just trigger locks on there. Yes, it's not a safe way. It's not a permanent safe solution to keeping a firearm safe. It's just a preventatory measure. So, but this little part sticks down there, and then this part, it does come above the foam, but the stuff up here absorbs it, so it is nice and snug. It's not moving around. The thing I did like about the pick and plug, as opposed to the other stuff, is that these squares come out super nice, super even. There's no mess, and all you really have to do is you take the chunk out that you want and you pull it out, and it comes out. It's attached by, I think, just the top at one point on each side, so it's not like you really have to try to get it out. And then this section down here, I actually have 4 mags, but I keep 3 in here and then 1 somewhere else when the gun is with me. But what I do, I stack them up vertically instead of horizontally, and I alternate them so they can fit in nice. So this top 3rd mag, it does stick out just a tiny bit, but it's even with this. So when the case is closed, everything is nice and secure. There's no room for anything to move around. I really do like how dense this foam is. There is not a lot of wiggle. Well, this one moves just a little because the case is open right now, but there is not. The gun and the mags will not move around at all once this top is closed. And that's one thing I was looking for, as opposed to the factory case. You have everything jammed in there. It just moves around on you. This little gap down here, they have a mag in the gun, which most of the times I do. I have room for that, obviously. And then the only reason I have this hollowed up here is because I have the True Glow TFO night sights installed, and they're just a tad bit higher than the Glock factory sights, and I just wanted a little extra room for those so they wouldn't get knocked around and whatnot in case the case was dropped or something. But that is essentially it. Like I said, this is the Pelican 1200 series cases. You can get these things in thousands of sizes and colors. The foam is always going to be gray, and then this is the black. You can get it in a lighter silver, a neon orange, and a yellow, and I think you can get it in an OD green now. And those are the colors you can get directly from Pelican. This case, depending if you shop around, the costs do vary, but I got this for $40 directly off Pelican's account on Amazon. So, and then we made in the USA, guys. I know it's hard to read, but Pelican is made 100% in the USA, and they also do have a lifetime warranty in case you ever needed to replace something. And they do have replacement parts for everything. You can buy just the outer case shell. You can buy just the foam. That comes in the 3-piece set. You can buy just the foam, and then obviously you can buy both together like I did. So that's my case set up for my Glock 17 Gen 4. If you guys have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll try to do the best I can to answer them for you. Thanks.